We're going to walk through how to create a copy of this Google form that will let you know what type of gamer your students are. So at the beginning of the year, you can send out this Google form survey. I'm going to go ahead and click make a copy while I'm kind of talking it over because it can take a little bit to make a copy of all the formulas. So while we're waiting for that, your students will take this survey. It's a Google form, and they will find out if they are the killer, achiever, socializer, or explorer. Based on these different categories will allow you to know kind of how to group your students and how to kind of motivate your students when it comes to games and what you might need to add to your games. If you have a lot of achievers, maybe you want to create some badges for your students. Or if you have some explorers, you might want to create some side quests for them to explore different activities that they can do. If it's the socializer, time for your students to get together and collaborate. If you're the killer, they just want to beat everyone. So maybe it's like having a leaderboard where they can kind of see that they are winning and in the lead. So right here is the copy of the Google form. One thing that you're going to want to do first is you're going to want to go up here to Tools, Manage Form, and go to Edit Form. So once you're in there, this is your copy of the Google form. You can change copy of, and change it to your name if you want to. So I'm going to put Hal up here so I know for sure that this is my copy. And then also you can see here it's not collecting the emails. So I can go, or it is collecting the emails, but students have to type it in. So if I go to responses, I can go ahead and turn on so that in my domain, it's going to auto collect and filter for the students. Okay, so everything is ready to go. That's really the only two things you want to touch is that email address if you want to turn it on for your domain so your students don't have to type it in, and then change the name of it. Now that that is set up, I'm going to see that everything is filled out here. Okay. Also, I'm going to go ahead and show you the student version. So next up is going into the extensions and going to AutoCAD. You're going to launch this. Now it's already set up, but you just need to kind of double check everything looks good. So when AutoCAD is loading up, you're going to click this little pencil and then you're going to hit OK. And then you can hit next. It's pulling this Google slide. This is how the answers are going to pull for your students. Next, I can see that everything is pulling. Killer matches with killer, achiever matches with achiever. So just making sure all of those match correctly. When the file, it's going to have the name and the gamer. So like Stephanie Gamer. It's all going to this folder. If you want it to go to a different folder, you can create your own folder and then add that folder. So you would go to your Google Drive and then add a folder. You might want to do that before you start the AutoCAD process. And then you can skip those steps and then you're at 8. This is going to send to your students. So if you want to send them an email so they know what type of gamer they are, you can have them, you can use this or you can change it to whatever you might want to do. So I was going to have the students review the PDF to know what type of gamer they are. And then right here, just go ahead and hit save. And then once you're all set, you can hit that play button. So what students are going to do now, because there are so many formulas, you will have to drag down the formula, and that's why you're going to wait until all of your students have taken the assignment before sending it out to them. So right here, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill this out. And what they're doing is they're just picking between two different choices really quickly to figure out what type of gamer they are based on what they pick on these choices. It's going to tally it up. And you can walk through this with your students, or some of them might be able to do this all by themselves, depending on their grade level and their ability. Okay. So now that I've got all of my questions done, students will then hit submit. And we can see that the scores will come into our Google form. So if I scroll over, again, just double check that everything is pulling over. Right here it's pulling over, but right here it is not. So just highlight both of these and click this little arrow and then see how now it's saying that this student is a number 6 achiever. You're going to highlight both of these, grab down, and if you have more students, you're just going to grab and pull just like that. Okay, so again, I'm going to grab these and then pull down. Right, and then right here, I'm going to grab and pull down, and then we're going to find out what type of gamer this student is, and it's the Explorer. Now that that's ready, I'm going to go to the extensions and AutoCrat. Again, you're going to want to pull that down for all your students. And once they're all done, you're going to go to AutoCrat and just hit that play button. And then it's going to send an email to your students that looks like, let's see if we can, that looks like this. So then they can see what type of gamer they are. So this student is the Explorer, and then they can read about what it means and why they were labeled the Explorer. So fun little game for your students. Again, you're going to click, highlight, and then drag down for each of your students. And I would wait until the very end to run the AutoCAD and everything. And don't forget to rename your file so you know exactly what it is or even the school year. If you have questions or need help setting up, feel free to email me.